NASBA and AICPA have proposed modifications to the Uniform Accountancy Act. And there's something that really concerns me about this model legislation, other than that this competency-based pathway is a bunch of crap, which is that the education requirements still require for all three pathways a accounting concentration or equivalent. And I think that is a big mistake. One of the best things that we could do as a profession would be to not require people to be accounting majors to become CPAs. And the reason I say this is because there are many, many, many ways to learn everything you need to know from an accounting major without going to an overpriced traditional college or university. This legislation locks in the monopoly that colleges and universities have over accounting education, and it limits our pipeline because it makes it extremely difficult for career changers to enter accounting because they have to go back to school and earn effectively an accounting major in order to become accountants, even if they have learned that on the job. And if NASBA and AICPA really wanted a competency-based pathway, they would loosen up this requirement so that anyone with a bachelor's degree can take the CPA exam if they can learn the material, if they can learn accounting 1 and 2 and intermediate accounting and advanced accounting somewhere else on the job or from a continuing education provider, or if they're really smart just by reading the textbooks, if they can take the exam and pass the exam, that should be enough. Because the exam is hard. The exam tests you on all this information. If you can learn this material, why do we make people go sit in a classroom? And why do we make people pay an absurd amount of money to get an accounting degree? So that is what I would encourage the states look at, is don't require people to have an accounting concentration in their education. You open it up to so many more candidates. There's a lot of really smart people in this world who, didn't pick the right major and would love to have a stable accounting career. For them, the starting salary of an accountant is more than they're making now, and perhaps more than they'll ever make. Because, like me, I chose a music degree. That severely limits your earning potential, I discovered. I was very happy to earn the salary of a bookkeeper or a staff accountant when I switched from music. It doubled my income.
We're going to get an alternative pathway that's almost equivalently constricted or more constricted than it originally was.
I guess if I step back and look at it, it's better than the current situation, but it's not good enough to change the talent crisis. It's too little. We need to do more. We need to streamline this further if we want to actually address this issue. And the problem is that the leadership has not quantified the impact of these changes. If they actually sat down and looked at what the shortage is and looked at who we need to bring in order to make up that shortage, even with technology and AI, we don't have enough. And these changes aren't going to do that because it still relies on the traditional accounting major pipeline. We have to attract people into the profession who didn't major in accounting. Not a lot of people want to major in accounting. This would help improve accounting education because I think one of the reasons accounting education sucks at so many schools is because these professors have a monopoly. If you want to be a CPA, you have to be an accounting major. So they don't have to do a good job. If they had competition from adjacent majors.
If you have a statistics degree or computer science, you have these other majors that you probably would make a good accountant.
And here's the other problem is that a lot of the states too require specific courses. It's not just like an accounting concentration. They require this whole list of courses you have to take. And that limits accounting education too, because you can't modernize the curriculum if you've got to have all these courses in the curriculum. Like 90% of the curriculum is predetermined. And so there are all these professors out there who listen to our show that contact us that say, we're trying to modernize education, but we can't find room in the curriculum. So just get rid of that.
Allowed.
And that way, the CPA exam can change, and then the education can change to match the CPA exam. And if the accounting majors don't do it, somebody else will because they'll see an opportunity. We're going to create competition. Competition stimulates innovation. Stop locking everything down this way. This is actually the same problem we have with accounting standards, is if we try to make a rule for everything. And so we end up with all these little rules, and now we have no flexibility to change. And that's what we've done with the whole CPA pipeline. It's so rigid. There's no room to change.